Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to Geek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucket.
Big Buckus. Walter Payton, it's the man. Finds Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears. Let's go. Who is this?
Georgia.
Nice throw, Jay Fields. I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm not talking about get on the field, It's picked off. Picked off an end zone by Kyler Gordon. Let's go. Put some respect on Kyler Gordon's name. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for yet another live stream right here on the podcast, right here on Geek on the Mic. First things first, make sure you go ahead and give me a like on this live stream. That would mean wonders to the show. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Bears fans, has been a long and taxing week in terms of all the rumors and all the talks about the number one overall pick, about Justin Fields, about Caleb Williams, all that good stuff. So today, we're going to kind of try to decompress a little bit, and you guys can go ahead and ask me questions. I even considered about dropping a link in the chat so you guys can come on for a little bit, maybe ask me a question, actually live on the podcast. But I'm going to go ahead and go into the comment section real quick and just say what's up to the people that are already in the chat. So we have Awesome. He said, Keek on the mic. What's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Marco C in the chat, says bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down, bear down to you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I said I was going to start this live stream at 7, but I don't know why. I always like to start early. It is what it is. Get this done and over with. Friday night Q&A. I definitely enjoy coming on. So Marco C in the chat once again, what people mean on X with the offers for Fields have been underwhelming. That probably means that the Bears are probably looking for a certain amount of compensation, and they're not getting what they want, right? So I know a lot of people think we're going to get a first-round pick, or at least attempt to get a first-round pick for Justin Fields, but I think the most you'll get for Justin Fields at this point is probably a 2 and the next year's 4 is probably the compensation if they do decide to trade Justin Fields. We have Frank in the chat. What's going on, Frank? Thanks you so much for tuning in. He says bear down to you as well. We have Blue Bay in the chat, says, you ain't about it. Yeah, you ain't about it. You ain't about it. You ain't Geek on the mic. Yes. A lot of people don't like my intro, which, it is what it is. That's what they want to, I know a lot of people have certain preferences and stuff, but a lot of people don't like my intro. Don't know why. I think it's pretty cool. Short, to the point. And then we also have Awesome in the chat once again saying, what's up? What's up to you guys as well? Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is something that I'm trying to do more often every Friday night, do a Friday night Q&A. I think it's just a good time for us to decompress as Chicago Bears fans. And just my opportunity to spread a little bit more positivity, talk a little bit more about the Chicago Bears, interact with you guys on a different level on these live streams. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, shoot the questions in the chat. If you just want to say what's up to me, that's totally fine. But let's go ahead and have a Friday night Q&A. Let's have some Bears talk. Once again, I may go ahead and put the link in the chat if you guys want to come on and ask me your question live. That's totally fine as well. But go ahead and shoot me some questions, and we'll go ahead and do this Friday night Q&A. All right. Awesome in the chat says, who is your top free agent signing priority? I think it just depends. I know the Bears have a lot of holes to fill. We have, we got to get the center squared away. Defensive end. I really like Danielle Hunter. I know he's 29, but I really like Danielle Hunter. I think that would be a monster signing for Ryan Poles. Marco C says the hope to keep Fields is still alive. Yeah, for sure. Obviously Ryan Poles has yet to make a decision. And until Ryan Poles comes out and makes that final decision, Justin Fields is still the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but trading the number one overall pick and building around Justin Fields is still very much an option on the board. We have Anthony Cates in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Anthony says, Kay, I love your show. Bear down to you as well. Thank you so much for the kind words. Once again, I do this Bears podcast for you guys, try to give you guys the most positive Bears content out there, and I will continue to do so. Marco C says MHJ to Chicago. Come on. Yeah, I know. I think that would be very, very good for the Chicago Bears. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a very, very good player. I wouldn't mind Marvin Harrison Jr. in a Bears uniform whatsoever. Junior Jordan says, what do you think they are going to do right now? If I put my money on it, it's probably trade Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, but that's just what we've been hearing. The rumors come out of the combine, obviously a lot of rumors on Twitter, all that good stuff. But you can't believe everything that you see. So I guess we just wait. But if I had to put my money on it right now, probably draft Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields. Marco says Fields MVP 2024, 2025. Yeah, very well could be. Very well could be. Who knows? Maybe he's in the right situation, rather it's with the Bears or somewhere else. Maybe he'll explode with his next team. Who knows? Who really knows? Someone said agreed. Hunter is mine too. Him and Sweat would definitely cause some problems. Absolutely. Danielle Hunter, man, 16 and a half sacks last season. A guy that can get after the quarterback in many different ways. Him and Montez Sweat would be fun to watch. Marco C says, what running back do you dream to sign? If we were going to sign a running back, I like Josh Jacobs, like Saquon Barkley. Yeah, those would probably be my top two. Maybe a sneaky signing would be Alexander Mattison. I know the Vikings just cut him. I think he would be a good fit in our offense. But I think if we were to sign a running back, probably Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley would be my top guys. Junior Jordan says, would you go full in on Williams or be reluctant to the decision of taking him? It really just depends. If Ryan Poles comes out and says, you know what, we're moving on for Justin Fields. If they trade Justin Fields, yes, I am full in on Caleb Williams. I'm not considering Drake May. I'm not considering Jaden Daniels. I would be all in on Caleb Williams if that was Ryan Poles' choice. But if we get into like free agency and there still has no decision yet to be made, I think that kind of leans towards keeping Justin Fields and trading the top pick. That is just me. I know there's actually been kind of rumors out there saying that the Bears are still discussing about trading the number 1 overall pick. Basically the conversations they're having right now is basically just saying, one, is Caleb Williams generational? Is he that quarterback that can actually be the franchise quarterback for the Bears? Or do you think we can actually win with Justin Fields? So those are the conversations they're having right now. And they will continue to have those conversations. This is not an easy decision for Ryan Poles or the Bears to make, but they will continue to have those tough conversations. We have 49ers Ultimate Report. He says, sup, buddy? What's the latest on the Chicago Bears? Thank you so much. If you guys want good 49ers content, go ahead and check out one of my good 49er buddies. I'm pretty sure we'll do some content next year when the Bears and Niners play. Really enjoy conversating with him. And once again, he runs a very, very positive and good 49ers channel. I know we're Bears fans, but obviously go show him some love as well. 49ers Ultimate Report, not a lot. We're just a bunch of rumors on Twitter. You got to, block out the rumors and just wait for real facts and real evidence, right? Obviously NFL insiders think that it's going to be Caleb Williams all the way. And at this point, I'm totally fine with Caleb Williams in Chicago. It's all about the long term. And if they feel like Caleb Williams is the best bet, you take Caleb Williams. But there's also been rumors and reports out of the combine insinuating that the Bears are still strongly considering trading the number 1 overall pick as well. So right now it's like, either direction the Bears go, and I think it's going to be a positive situation for the Bears for sure. Marco C says, what do you think about Fields and his agent IG story where he says, I'm coming home? So basically they just clear that thing up. How I take it was that he was mocking how people on the kickoffs act. Like when you're on special teams, punt return and kickoff, that's how they act. He was in, that's what they were talking about. Maybe there's more to the story. Maybe it's like, maybe that's what he meant, that maybe there is a deal in place where he's going back to Atlanta. Maybe he's just showing his excitement because he gets to go back to his hometown, all that good stuff. But how I took it was he was just mocking special teams players. Julia's in the chat. Thank you so much, Julia, for commenting and coming on to the live stream. Said agreed. If William is picked, I would be for a second, but then go, okay, let's see what else Poles is going to do. So bear down. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, the number 9 overall pick. They've been saying we pick Caleb Williams number 1. You get Rome Odunze at number 9. Now you have Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, right? Then the offense is starting to look like something, and then you still have a boatload of money to, fix all the other areas of need on the roster. The only thing that sucks is that we just pick 1 and 9. We don't have a second round pick unless obviously you trade Justin Fields and you get that second round pick. Someone else said, do you think Atlanta may sign Kirk Cousins and not trade for Justin Fields? I'm seeing serious rumors of that. Yeah, that's something that's seriously being talked about right now, is that they may prefer Kirk Cousins. And if that's the case, that's one less option of the team that's interested in Fields. Right now, I think the teams that are interested in Fields are the Falcons, I believe the Patriots, I believe the Giants, and I think that may be it. So, it's one of those things that they may sign Kirk Cousins, and I think that's a solid option as well. Obviously Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields are two different quarterbacks. So if they want to go that route, they definitely, but at the same time, Atlanta, Kirk Cousins, I know his wife's from Atlanta, so that makes sense. Someone said Justin is gone. No, it's a foregone conclusion, done deal. I don't think it's a done deal, but you that way and see. Like I said, I'm fine with either option at this point. But to say it's a done deal is just kind of, rushing to conclusions. Maybe they do have a deal in place. Maybe we just don't know yet. Maybe they're just kind of waiting until the end of the combine to say it's done, whatever. But at the moment, what we've been hearing from NFL insiders is like, okay, they're going to take Caleb Williams, but there's no conclusion on a deal being in place yet. Marco says, Odunze, I'm not convinced. Preferred Neighbors or Bowers. Yeah, the thing about Neighbors, I think he's going to be a top 6 pick. I think Odunze and Bowers will drop to that number 9 pick. So Ryan Poles will have a tough choice. I think Bowers would be really good paired with Cole Kmet as well. So I think either way would be a good pick. Chicago Legend says, bro, if they trade Justin, the team will be my second team. Yeah, so and that's fine. You could support a player wherever he goes, right? I think I would support Justin Fields even if he went to Atlanta. I think I'd be really curious to see how he would do, especially in Atlanta. Atlanta has Bijan Robinson, Drake London, right? Kyle Pitts. They have a good young pieces in place over there. So I think it'd be interesting to see him over there in Atlanta. Someone said, where's MHJ? Why isn't he living up to his media obligations? I believe what I heard, I'm not sure if this is true. I believe MHJ was doing a full body scan today. He's doing medical stuff, so I think that's why he didn't interview. I also heard that he has an internship back at Ohio State, so I'm not sure if he had to go back to that as well. I'm not sure what's going on with MHJ. But I know that's like a big talk of people talking about MHJ, about how he didn't interview today. So I'm not looking too much into it. He's still one of the best players in the draft. I'm not too concerned. The scroll says Poles is taking Caleb. He knows what Mahomes did for his career in KC, and he has mouths to feed. Let it go, KOTM. What am I not letting go? I've been telling you guys I'm okay with Caleb Williams. Like, I don't understand how many more videos I got to make it saying, hey, I'm just a Bears fan at the end of the day. So you kind of sound silly when you make comments like this. And I know you comment all the time on my videos, but I don't know what else I have to say. Like, it's simple. I'm fine with Caleb Williams. I'm fine with Justin Fields. It doesn't really matter what direction we go in, because I feel like either direction we go in, the Bears should be in a positive situation. That's just how I feel. I'm a fan at the end of the day. I'm a Bears fan first. Let it go. Chicago Legend says, I would trade the first pick. Yeah, that's a personal preference. I think that's also an option that Ryan Poles is considering. And I think that's the one thing that we have to kind of realize, that it's not really, Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams. It's more Caleb Williams versus the haul you can get for the number 1 overall pick. And that's how some people are looking at it. Junior Jordan says, all we can do is trust Poles' decision the next few weeks. Absolutely. Obviously, but outside of the Chase Claypool trade, Ryan Poles has been really good for the Chicago Bears. So Chris Ann says, I think Poles would prefer 6'4" QB and extra draft picks. Trading JF and back to 2 with Washington. What percentage do you think Poles will do this, and which QB do you take at 2? If they decide to go this route, which, you trade Justin Fields, you trade back, so that means you're not getting Caleb Williams. I believe that he would probably go Drake May if I had to guess, because I feel like Jaden Daniels is the same exact player as Justin Fields. So I think he would probably go Drake May. And Drake May, I think he's going to be a good player. I think as long as you build around him, all that good stuff, we'll see. Drake May, I think, would be the pick, though. MHJ is full of himself, but if Caleb did this, you guys would be all over him. I wouldn't be all over him. I like I said, I loved his interview today. I think his swagger, his cockiness, his aura about him, he really impressed me today in his interview. I think sometimes you guys look at the Chicago media and you guys include people like me in that situation, but I'm not the Chicago media. I'm totally different. So Stop listening to everything the Chicago media is saying and bringing it back to here. Chicago Legend says, it's been a minute since I've been on here, Keek. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you, Chicago Legend, for coming on. I appreciate you for tuning in on this Friday night Q&A. I do appreciate all the engagement from you guys. I think it's good to have these conversations. Someone said, we want you to progress your show towards Caleb because Justin is gone. Caleb is the Hall. I'm not. The thing is, I can't do that, though. It's tough for me to do that. I'm trying to be even killed. So I talk about Caleb, I talk about Justin, I talk about the different options the Bears can go, because until Ryan Poles comes out and says he's actually trading Justin Fields, we can't just sit here and assume at this point, right? So I'm just trying not to make a fool out of myself too much, because I want to make sure we know for sure that we're taking Caleb Williams. And when we do know that we're trading Justin Fields and not trading a number 1 overall pick, then I will make more content on just like talking about how we should support Caleb, how we should approach free agency, all that good stuff, and even the draft to surround Caleb Williams with the best possible team. B. Bill Sr. says, what's the expectations for the Bears today? Take a rookie quarterback, playoffs or bust, or do we wait for him to develop? I had a podcast on this yesterday, if you want to go check it out. But I talk about this and I'm like, I think with the expectations of Caleb Williams being a number 1 overall pick, people saying that he's generational, right? I think we should expect playoffs, because I think if you pick Caleb Williams, I think you're saying that he's better than Justin Fields right now, meaning with the team that Ryan Poles has built, building offensive line, playmakers on the outside, the defense should be a top 10 unit going into next year, right? So I think we can expect, hopefully, to push for the playoffs with no matter who the quarterback is, right? So I know it may seem unfair to say, oh, he's a rookie, we should give him a couple of years. No, that's not how I view it. People say he's generational. I think he definitely does have some talent. I don't like to put any generational tag on any player, but I think he should be good enough with the team that we have in Chicago to come in and make the playoffs in year 1. Once again, thank you guys so much for commenting and engaging with me. I'm trying my best to get to all you guys' comments. I really, really do appreciate all of you. Someone said, I would like Bo Nix at 9, LOL. Yeah, hey, you never know. You never know. Someone said, okay, Keek, I'll ease off. But if Justin never made the playoffs, why would you expect it from Caleb? Because Justin Fields was dealt with a rebuild. How is he supposed to make a playoffs during a rebuild when Ryan Poles is breaking down the roster? Multiple offensive coordinators. Do you forget that in year 2, he was throwing to Byron Pringle, Equanimeous St. Brown, Darnell Mooney being the number 1 option? And Darnell Mooney's a solid wide receiver to me, but we've quickly figured out that he's not a true number 1 wide receiver, right? The offensive line was in shambles. Obviously, Ryan Poles tore down the roster on the defense side of the ball as well. So basically what I'm saying is, people much like yourself are saying, Caleb Williams is generational. Obviously comparing him to guys like Andrew Luck, Patrick Mahomes 2.0, Aaron Rodgers comparisons. So how I look at it is, that means if Caleb Williams is that good, that means he should be able to lead this team to the playoffs in year 1. And I will have those expectations. And of course, I know he's a rookie, so I'll expect those growing pains as well. But he should be good enough to get into a wild card spot in year 1 if he is that good. Someone said Caleb immediately makes us the best team in the North. I hope so. And that would be cool. That would be cool to see. Obviously, if it's best for the long term of this football team to take Caleb Williams and he comes in year 1 and wins the NFC North, that would be absolutely amazing. I would definitely love to see that. Someone said either QB can take us to the playoffs. I believe that. I believe that. I think people have, it's 2 different situations. And once again, I did a video yesterday on this, talking about like how it's 2 different situations. Justin Fields was dealt with the rebuild. Obviously, Caleb Williams is coming in to a much better situation in Chicago if he is the pick. So it is 2 different situations. Someone said Justin just had a team last year and they blew 4 games. So is it all? So you're saying it's all on Justin Fields? I think that's wrong to say that it's all on Justin Fields. Justin Fields put up 28 points, 4 touchdown passes, right? In against the Denver Broncos. And I know we could sit here and say, well, in the 4th quarter, he's terrible. Yeah, those are true stats. But at the same time, the defense was also not a very good unit prior to Montez Sweat coming in the fold at the trade deadline, right? So the defense wasn't good, right? People were still gelling, all that good stuff. But I think it's unfair to say that it's all on Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields definitely is the quarterback. So of course you look at him and you give him most of the blame, but the Bears, you have to look at everything. That's just how I think of it. You don't have to agree with me. I don't really care if you agree with me, but Someone said if Justin had 3 years, Caleb has 3 years. It's not going to be that way, buddy. I'm sorry. It's not going to be that way, especially with how excited the Chicago Bears fan base is. If it takes Caleb Williams 3 years, he's going to be run out of Chicago too. It's going to be people like you that are going to come in and run Caleb Williams out of Chicago, just like how people are trying to run Justin Fields out of Chicago. That's just how Chicago Bears fans are, right? We're impatient. We haven't had a quarterback in a long time. So at this point, we're impatient. So no, I think Caleb Williams has to come in right away. And I would say, okay, maybe I can tone back a little bit. Maybe not make the playoffs, but let's say at least win more than 7 games, right? You have to come in right away and be successful, because it's not going to be a good look if Caleb Williams is coming in to a much better situation that Justin Fields never had, right? And Justin Fields goes to Atlanta, tears it up, but Caleb Williams comes in and wins 3 or 4 games. That's not going to be a good look on Caleb Williams, and that's not going to be a good look on Ryan Poles either. Julia says, Justin was thrown a bad hand to begin with, and he had to deal with a lot until the last weeks of the season where the Bears were winning. Waldron will help design a team where Fields can thrive. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I think it would work, right? You finally have an offensive coordinator that will play to Justin Fields' strengths, right? If you do keep Justin Fields. But at the same time, I think Shane Waldron would do wonderful things with Caleb Williams as well. So I think it goes both ways. Once again, I'm not going to keep talking. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to a mirror, because I know what side you're on. You're out on Justin Fields, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, Justin Fields did also have 4 touchdown passes and put up 28 points in that game as well, right? So we can sit here and talk about, the fumble and the interception. But at the end of the day, 28 points is supposed to be enough to win a football game. That's what my dad always taught me. He coached football all his life. And he's like, son, 28 points should always be, actually, he said 20 or more points should be enough to win a football game. Our defense wasn't also good against the Denver Broncos early on. Our defense wasn't good until the second part of the season. Chicago Legend says JF1's first year shouldn't even count. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about that. Like, basically it's null and void. Basically these last 2 years were Justin Fields' evaluation years. And I think the problem is that we haven't seen like that massive jump from Justin Fields. But when you look at the stats, he is steadily improving. But it's like, if we do bring him back, the pressure is definitely going to be beyond. He has to make the playoffs. He has to have a major improvement. So the pressure will definitely be on Justin Fields next year if we keep him. Someone said, my mother can throw to DJ and MHJ. Yeah, I can even go out there and throw the ball to those weapons. That would be an elite offense. I'll tell you that. Someone said, whoever the QB is, the expectation should be playoffs. I definitely agree. Keith, do you prefer making and releasing Bears content during the season or during the offseason, and why? Oh, man, I think it's 2 different things, right? I think when you're in season, it's like more structured. So you have like your pregame, postgame shows, right? My reactions after the game. I have my live stream. So I think it's like more organized. In the offseason, you don't know what's going to happen because you're kind of like waiting for news. So for the most part, that's why you see a lot of Bears content creators like myself posting a lot of mock drafts, right? Posting a lot of mock off seasons, and then kind of just like waiting for news or rumors to post. So I think personally, it's more fun to post in the off season because it's like almost like breaking news. But I think if you're talking about structure, in season is definitely fun as well. Someone said, if he sucks after 3 years, yes, he'll be out of here. The situation is much better according to who? According to all Bears fans. Why wouldn't it be a better situation? Like, you're really sitting here saying that's not a better situation to what Justin Fields had in his 3 years? Like, that's crazy. The foundation is basically built. Justin Fields was dealt with a rebuild. Caleb Williams is not going to be dealt with a rebuild. This team is basically a couple pieces away from being a good football team. Come on now. That's crazy. That is crazy. Someone say, Keek, what do you think of trading first, grabbing Bo at 9, and then picking Fields 50 or giving Bo time? I don't know. I don't know if Bo, it just depends. It just depends how he does at the combine, all that stuff, pro days and all that good stuff. But I'm not sure you could possibly take a swing at Bo Nix, but maybe if you trade down from 9 possibly and add some picks, maybe you trade down to 20. And if Bo Nix is still there at the 20 range, maybe take a risk. But I'm not sure if that's an option that they're considering. I think it may be at this point, either Justin Fields or Caleb Williams, and maybe a dark horse, maybe Jaden Daniels. But I'm not sure. Someone said when Justin stays, the ghost of the Judah tribe is going to cry. I think a lot of people are going to cry. And it pains me to say that, is that, like, I don't think we have a lot of fans in this fan base, and there's different levels of fanship, right? I think a true fan is that they will support whoever plays for the Bears, right? But I think we have a lot of people in this fan base that won't do that, and it's unfortunate. But hey, it's up to them. That's on them. Someone says it's not because Justin's first year they had Mac Hicks, Allen Robinson. How much effort did Allen Robinson give though? If you really think about it, you're right about Khalil Mack and Hicks. The defense was decent at best still. I know those guys were aging veterans, but the guys, they were still playing pretty good football. But when you look at Allen Robinson, he wasn't really putting his full effort because he's going through all that contract stuff. I think he had some beef with Matt Nagy, all that stuff. So Allen Robinson wasn't really there. If you look at the stats, it wasn't really great. So, and Justin Fields wasn't even supposed to play in year one, to be quite honest. I think Matt Nagy wanted to sit him. He wanted Andy Dalton to play. Someone says, Caleb having a better foundation is the plan. We want a Super Bowl. Good luck to Fields, though. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's all I'm trying to say, is that Caleb Williams does have a better foundation. Obviously, Justin Fields was dealt a crappy hand. I mean, I think we can all agree with that. I don't think it's a secret. Ryan Poles stripped the roster, and unfortunately, Justin Fields was the quarterback that had to deal with that. I guess it's not the excuse, but it's just, it's true. It's just the truth. Once again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys interacting with me. If you guys just now joining the live stream, make sure you share and like this live stream as well. I do appreciate you guys tuning in tonight on a Friday night Q&A. Go ahead and keep asking the questions. Should I put the link in the chat? Should I put the link in the chat so you guys can ask me questions? Like I said, if I do this, the rules are simple. One question per person. Don't stay on too long. And the thing is, I'm not a big debate guy. I'm not going to sit here and debate with you guys back and forth. If you guys have a different opinion, that's not me. If you guys have your opinion, I'll listen. I'll be okay, cool. But we'll see. If you guys want to put the link in the chat, just let me know, and I will definitely do that so you guys can come on live and ask me questions if you guys want. Once again, I'm going to continue to look through the comment section. Someone said, just another year. Chicago YouTuber said earlier that the Commanders asked for number 1, Bears get back number 2, 36-67, Jonathan Allen, and then at 2, get Marvin Harrison Jr. So my question is, what happens at 9? I think at 9, if you get Marvin Harrison Jr., you get the best edge rusher, or you trade down again and get more draft picks, right? Like I said, we don't have a second-round pick, so it just depends. Someone said, okay, I'm done, Keek. You better be a Caleb fan when we draft him. Like I said, I'm going to support any quarterback that's out there. I support every quarterback that the Bears have ever had. Mr. Trubisky, Jay Cutler, Josh McCown, Tyson Bagent. I was supporting all those guys. I really was. Yeah, I think that's a good trade though, Brandon. I really do. I like that trade. Once again, I think we do need a second round pick, and that would be perfect. It really would. I think at 9 though, like I said, you can even go get Brock Bowers at 9 if you really want to. You really could. Once again, just going through the comments. Thank you guys so much. I like this question. He says, what do you think about Dallas Turner at pick 9? I think he's better than Micah Parsons right now. Yeah, Dallas Turner, man, is absolutely putting on a show at the combine. So maybe at 9, maybe we do take him. But I just think we take Caleb Williams at number 1. We're going to need a weapon, right? So Bowers or Dunze makes more sense. But if we take MHJ, trade down, take MHJ, I think that would be the perfect pick at 9. Keep an eye out for Laiatu Latu, the guy at UCLA. He's also a sneaky pick for the Chicago Bears with their second first-round pick. If the medical's clear, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a good edge rusher. Someone said, what do the Bears do if nobody wants to give a second for Fields? I don't know what Ryan Poles would do. I think they're banking on at least a second round pick, but if they don't get a second round pick, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a really, really good question. That's why Ryan Poles makes the big bucks. Someone said, are we sure the haul is what's needed? The Seahawks had a huge haul from Denver and they're still struggling. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when you make those risks and take that haul, it doesn't work all the time. But the same thing, sometimes when you pick certain players, sometimes doesn't work out. Just because Caleb was dominant in college, right? Or put up those stats in college doesn't mean he's going to be good in the National Football League. So that's the tough part about this business. It just happens sometimes. Someone said the difference is when we get Caleb, you're still going to follow Fields. I can still support Justin Fields and be a Bears fan. You know how many people I've talked to that are like Seahawks fans say, "Hey, I love Justin Fields," or I support Patrick Mahomes. You can still be fans of players. I don't think that's a wrong assessment to have. I think that's weird if you say I can't be a fan of a player. It's just weird. He's a drafted Bear at the end of the day. That's really strange. That's a really strange assessment. But hey, to each his own. Yeah, someone say Latu passed his medicals. That's really good to hear. Yes, he'll be a dog. Yes, Liatu Latu is really, really good. He actually went to Jesuit High School. I'm in Sacramento, California. That's where I'm from. I mean, he went to Jesuit High School, and Jesuit High School is like probably like 20 minutes from where I am. So that'd be really cool, really cool. Someone asked why didn't MHJ do interviews? I believe that they said either he was doing a full body scan, like doing medicals, and I heard that it takes like 3 hours for these players to do medicals. Another person was saying that he has an internship at Ohio State. I'm not sure why. It's a mystery at this point. It's really a mystery at this point. Someone said I like an edge in this draft. Yeah, I think it's like it's a weird situation because I think the Bears could address the edge rusher position in free agency. But there's some good edge rushers. You got Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, right? Leatu Latu. It's deep with edge rushers. I'll tell you that. Well, listen, Mikey, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you coming in. He says, "Yo, Key, good to see you, man. If JF was going to get traded, he would have already requested the trade. That's a fact. Yeah, that's true. You know, Joseph Fields has been really loyal to the fans, and then the city of Chicago, and the Chicago Bears organization. I think right now he's just waiting, trying to put in that work, trying to keep his mind clear. And we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I think it's going to be really interesting to see once they make a decision, because right now the Bears fan base is split. So when someone makes, when they make their final decision on Justin Fields or Caleb Williams, it's going to be interesting to see some of these Bears fans. Someone said, "Do you like Jackson Powers Johnson? If we get a second pick, I don't think the value was there for center in the second round. I feel we should select a safety. We can get Van Pran later." Yeah, I love Jackson Powers Johnson, but I think unfortunately he's going to be a first round pick. Van Pran is going to definitely be there. Maybe pick him in the second, early third. I think, if we're looking at the safety position, Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota is really good. Cameron Kitchens, I believe he's from Miami, is also really good. Hard hitter, very versatile. Yeah, those are the two guys I'm looking at in terms of safeties. Someone said draft a center and sign one. Yeah, we need all the help we can get at center. Someone said you're just not a fan of Fields, though. You have a weird affinity to him where you think he can be a top 10 QB. Okay, that's just my opinion. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. I don't really know what you want me to say to that. I think some people like comment and want like a crazy reaction, but it's like I think I can think what I want about a player. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I can own up to that. But the problem is that some people don't have the ability to do that. So I don't really know what you want me to say. I still believe he can be a top 10 QB. Will it be in Chicago? Probably not. If it just depends. If we keep him, if he gets one more year, maybe he will reach those levels. But maybe he goes to Atlanta. I think he will be good. Maybe he can reach those heights there. There's nothing wrong with me saying that. I don't know. It's weird. And once again, you say he can't be a top 10 QB. He's actually close to bottom 10 is hilarious. So I don't really know. I think at that point, it's just a preference. I think once again, it's like almost like talking to a mirror at this point. We don't want to go back and forth on that. Someone said, "What do you think the Bears will do with the first pick?" I'm just waiting for Ryan Poles. If it was me, I think right now my best guess would be trade Justin Fields and select Caleb Williams. That's what it looks like it's leaning towards. I think they are still having conversations about trading down to from the number one overall pick, collecting draft capital and keeping Justin Fields as well. The conversations are still going on. So, but right now it looks like we're going to draft Caleb Williams, which is cool. Every time you bring in a new quarterback, it's like that fresh feeling, and hopefully the Bears don't find a way to screw that up. Because once again, I think Caleb Williams is an outstanding prospect as well. Chicago Legend says, hey, Keek, signing off. Got baseball practice early in the morning. No problem. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you. Anthony says, if they trade JF to the Falcons, they will win their division before the Bears. Yes, you look at the NFC South, it's a very winnable division too. And then, what the Falcons are doing there, once again, you add Justin Fields, you have Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I think it would be good. Someone said the only convo as polls is entertaining is trading up from 9. Trading up from 9. That would be interesting. Yeah. So I don't know what conversations they're having. I think all conversations are being had. I just don't think if they were sold on Caleb Williams right now and not trading the pick, maybe they're just having some trouble trading Justin Fields. That could very well be the case. But like I said, I'm not just trying to make any assumption right now because no one really knows what's going on. Someone said, people forget he's a dual threat QB. Yes, talking about Justin Fields. That is very true. Someone asked, do you think the Bears might trade down from number 9? Definitely could be a possibility to get more picks. Once again, we don't have no second round pick. So the more trade downs, and obviously Ryan Poles loves his pick. So the more you trade down, the better. That's how you would look at it. Someone said Fields was described as abrasive by Josh Lucas. Were you not concerned about that? No, I wasn't concerned at all. I really, I really can care less what people think. And that's the thing, you can listen to what everyone else has to say. But doesn't mean it's going to be true. Like if you ask anyone else about Justin Fields, have you ever heard anyone else say that Justin Fields is abrasive towards them? So, if multiple people come out, it's like, with this number 1 overall pick situation, we have Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, Brad Biggs, multiple people coming out saying that they're going to trade the number 1 overall pick. That's when you can really believe someone. But if one person's coming out and saying something, that's when it's kind of like, okay, we'll listen, but we're going to take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't matter if he worked for the Chicago Bears. It's still one person saying it. Even when you talk to Matt Nagy, because obviously I think Josh Lucas was there with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy hasn't said anything. So we could sit here and, and speculate, but at this point, it's just speculation. Someone said if they go MHJ or Caleb Williams, they should go O-line at number 9. Yep, I like that. Olu Fashanu is just an interesting name to me, at number 9. I know we have Braxton Jones, but I don't know. I just don't know. I think Olu Fashanu, I've always liked Olu Fashanu. So we'll see. Someone said KOTM needs a Caleb Fathead behind him. The scrolls, if you send me a Caleb Fathead, I'll put it behind me, but I'm not going to buy one yet. But if they draft Caleb Williams, are you going to send me a Caleb Fathead? You guys send me a Caleb jersey? Someone said Matt Nagy sat Fields for Andy Dalton. That should show everything he doesn't have to say. What the? I'm gonna put up this comment because this dude, I actually really like. I really like you, Gayo Dorks Talk. I really do like you because I don't know. You may be portraying to be someone else, and that's totally fine. But this is a funny comment. It really is. I'm just gonna leave it up there. I'm not even gonna respond. It's just funny. Someone said Olu Fashanu is worth the 9th pick. Mike Singletary said the offensive line needs the most help. Yeah, absolutely. Someone said Gayo believes everything he hears Bears. Yeah, that's probably true. Someone said, hey, Keek, how is it that if they trade JF1 to the Steelers or Falcons, he takes the team to the playoffs? That means he's a good QB. Yeah, and then, both those teams have better coaching and just a better situation around him as well. So that's probably why they're saying it. Jay Bond says the Bears are in a win for sure. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's a win-win for sure. We got Sports Talk, Chicago Sports Talk. Michael in the chat. He says, Keek on the mic. How you doing, Michael? Appreciate you joining the stream. I just want to leave this comment up here because it's funny. Matt Nagy sat Fields for Andy Dalton. That should show everything. He doesn't have to say anything. That is funny. You do know that just... I feel like Stephen A. Smith, when Stephen A. Smith just, sits on the screen and just laughs. He's like, that's how I feel right now. Just sitting here laughing at this comment. It's hilarious. That's why I love Bears fans. You know, you get many different people commenting on many different things and having many different opinions. I think that's the best part about doing a podcast, that you get these many different opinions, and everyone has a right to their opinions. Do they always make sense? No. There maybe half the time why I don't make sense. So once again, thank you guys so much for engaging with me. Continue to send your questions in the chat. I really do appreciate you guys. If you guys are not already liking this live stream, make sure you hit that like button. I really, really do appreciate that. Once again, I do appreciate all you guys' love and support. I just want to let you guys know that I do have another giveaway coming soon. I'm about to give away. I just gave away this Brian Urlacher signed frame jersey. I have to actually ship it out to the winner, announce the winner today. But I'm also going to be giving away possibly my Lance Briggs frame signed jersey as well. So giving away a couple of prizes. So looking forward to that. Oh no, here comes Chicago Sports Talk Michael's other chat. I know that's not the real Michael. You know, obviously I talk to Michael almost every other day, get his opinions on things. But this is the fake Michael. We're gonna put up the fake Michael. It's Michael's other account here. I broke my chair today arguing with Caleb fans. Oh my goodness. What's going on? This is the real Chicago Sports Talk Michael. Go check out his channel. If you want to go check out his channel, I think it's good content. So we have Nico Suave. Is that really your name? That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. I don't get a lot of super chats all the time. It's not like I ask for people to do super chats. If you guys want to do super chats, go ahead and do a super chat. But thank you so much for the super chat, Nico Suave. It says, love the content. Would love to come on the show. I would love to have you on the show sometime. I'm actually thinking about maybe dropping the link in the chat right now and having people come on and ask me questions. You know what? I will be a good sport. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Once again, don't come on here acting a fool, please. Don't come on here acting a fool. I'm being serious. Come on here and act like you have some sense. If you guys are going to come on here, here we go. The link is in the chat right now. And what we'll do, we'll start so you guys can see it. So that's the link to come on to the live stream. If you guys want to come on and ask me a question, once again, don't come on here asking a fool. Come on here and ask some Bears questions. I'm not sitting here. We're not gonna. It's not gonna be like, you know, first take or you know, sitting here trying to debate with you guys. No. Once again, I do appreciate you guys in the chat. Julia says, Nagy, knowing he was gone in those last few weeks, still held Fields back to help develop him in the pocket. Yeah. That is true. That is true. We have White Ghost. Says, how do you think the draft will go, Keek? Man, it's a tough question. It's like you're just waiting for Ryan Poles to make a decision. If I had to guess at this moment, it's probably going to be, you know, I guess draft Caleb Williams at 1, trade down from 9 to get the multiple picks. After you trade down, maybe take Jackson Powers Johnson, the center, to shore up the center position. And then I guess we go from there. We just build from there. Just looking through the comment section. What's going on, Michael?
What's up, Keeve? I was going to comment this, but I might as well say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The same Bears fans that are crying for Caleb Williams, I actually have a hot take.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the year 2026, depending if this man comes out and declares for the draft,
yeah,
y'all are gonna be whining and complaining for Arch Manning.
Arch Manning, is that when he's gonna come out? Is 2026? Is Arch Manning? That's when he's gonna come out? Oh, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see, because like I think once the decision's made, once Ryan Poles makes a decision, it's just gonna be funny because like, you know, half the fan base, I guess, is going to be losers and half the fan base is going to be right. So I think this is going to be funny to see how everything shapes out.
No, trust me. If they trade the first overall pick, I'm already saving it up. I'm going to give an application for Commanders fans, new Commanders fans.
That's funny. You know, you have a fake. Why do you have a twin in the chat? You know that?
No, because when you're famous, Keith, you have stalkers. Apparently.
Oh, okay, I see. I say, hold on. I'm gonna let someone else on once again. How you doing? What's going on?
What up, Keith? What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just another Friday night talking some Bears football. We have a lot to talk about. How you doing?
Absolutely, bro. I'm doing good. I just want to say, hey, bro, I'm a truck driver, and I listen to your content all the time, bro. I love what you got to say about the Bears.
Yeah.
You keep me going throughout the night sometimes. I love all the information you're bringing out. I just want to say that.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I just try to spread positivity. You know, when there's not a lot of positivity on the Bears, I just try my best to come on here and hopefully give you guys some good information. But I do appreciate the kind words, brother.
No, not a problem, bro. So one thing, I just got one question for you. So if the Bears do pick up Caleb Williams, which,
yeah.
I mean, from what it's looking like, I kind of think that's what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
Do you trade up from number 9 to get one of those top 3 receivers? Because honestly, man, I don't really see Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze coming down at 9. I mean, we know Marvin Harrison's going to be gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't see either of those two, getting past or going to 9. So do we trade up? But the other thing is, like, what do we have to trade? Do we trade Fields to one of those teams? Maybe our future second? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, there's many different routes you can take. You could even stay at 9 if you wanted to and take a guy like Brock Bowers, right? If you know, especially looking at Shane Waldron and how he runs those 2 tight end sets, it would actually be a smart pick for the Bears. But at the same time, the Bears don't have a second-round pick, right, this year. So I think what they would do is if they wanted to trade up and get like Neighbors, you have to trade your 9 and possibly that Carolina Panthers second-round pick in the 2025 NFL draft to move up to like 5 or 6 to get Neighbors. But I don't know if Ryan Poles is willing to do that at that point, right? So
exactly. I think he would rather trade down the 9th overall pick and get Jackson Powers Johnson. And guess what receiver we're going to end up taking if we get Caleb? Not Coleman, the wide receiver from FSU. We're going to get Jerry Rice's son.
Oh, Brendan Rice. Yeah, and that's fine with me. And like I said, I'm definitely on board for Caleb Williams. And because I think the Bears have finally put a good offensive staff in place for once in their life. You know, yeah. I think we will be okay either direction. And I would be excited for Caleb Williams. I think he's a hell of a talent.
To be honest, though, he can, be very talented as he was in college, but at the same time, it needs to be translated to the NFL. And to be honest, I don't think he would be. It wouldn't surprise me if Jaden Daniels does more better than Caleb.
Yeah, but I think it's all about situations that you're in. I think coaching does matter, and the system definitely does matter. You just never know. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jaden Daniels had, Neighbors, and he had that other big guy on the other side, so he had a lot easier of a time. But like the thing also with Caleb Williams, they said he didn't have such a strong year in college because the offensive line wasn't that good, his receivers weren't that good. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, hey man, I'm like, that's kind of our problem with the Bears. Like, our offensive line, I mean, don't get me wrong, they didn't let up a lot of sacks, but pressure-wise, I mean, there's a lot of games I was watching, man. As soon as Fields got that ball, he had pressure right in his face, and I'm just like,
yeah,
man, we gotta beef up the O-line a little bit. DJ Moore, don't get me, I mean, he killed it for sure, but is one weapon good enough for Caleb Williams? That's the only thing I'm just worried about. I want to see him, if he does come here, succeed, man, because as you guys know, we do not have a good history with picking quarterbacks. It's been a rough. I've been a Bears fan for 25 years, man, and I'm telling you, I don't know if I can deal with another one.
Yeah, right. I know there's a lot of people that say that. Like a lot of the OGs are like, man, can we finally get this thing right? Like I said, I'm only 26 years old, so I haven't been through too much misery, right? But eventually something has to give. So, but like I said, I do appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm 35, man. Like when we signed Color to that 7-year extension, I almost blew my brains out. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me, man. I can't believe we gave this guy a $120 million contract.
What's
that was
up,
the only
Pesos?
time I saw the guy smile.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was actually that was really crazy when we gave Cutler that extension. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was a lot younger, but I do remember that. But.
So that's why I think about the whole receiver situation, because like we were also, when I looked at it, we were dead last with receiver separation last year. Like our receivers couldn't get open. Besides your name wasn't DJ Moore, but everyone else, man, they couldn't get open. And I'm lot. Receivers can't get separation. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not crapping on the Bears. I love the Bears. Like I've been a diehard Bears fan forever, but like, you just notice all these things, and I'm like, I don't know. I think we need a lot more help, and that's why I wholeheartedly think that Ryan Poles is going to put on his GM hat and be like, look, like I love Caleb Williams, but we have way too many holes on this team. Let's trade down and get some more picks, get some more weapons, and I think you do what the Lions did pretty much, and Goff wasn't very, he wasn't that good in LA. Like he had one good season, got rid of him, and then he comes to Detroit, and then he kills it.
Yeah, and
that's what I think. I think you just got to build a team around him. Like I don't think Fields is trash. I think Fields has good capabilities as a great athlete, but you got to just, like we were talking about before. What did we surround him with when he came in here? There was a rebuild. He had nothing his first season, so that's what I'm saying. Like, just give the guy some more help, and I think he'll flourish.
Definitely a good assessment from you. Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Like I said, I talk a lot. I try to give you guys your chance to talk to. So I do appreciate the comments and you coming on and supporting the podcast for sure.
Yeah, I don't mean to like talk. If anybody else wants to say something, you want to disagree with me?
No. I do want to give a shout out. Is your name? You pronounce your name Nico Suave? My bad. Let me unmute. Oh, why can't I unmute your mic? What?
No, I'm just sitting and letting.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now. Yes, sir. I like that name. Thanks, that means you're probably a cool guy.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love the show, man. I agree with a lot of the things, a lot of the points you make. I saw your video yesterday, about the whole, switching quarterbacks. And I agree. Because he never did get that fair shake. And, hopefully.
He did get that fair shake.
Did he?
Yeah, we had 3 years of this bum. He's 11 and freaking 29. No, 10 and 29. He had more than a fair shake. He just can't get it done. He can't get it done.
Second year as it was a tank.
No.
Let's be honest.
Quay Walker told you how to beat this bum. Every time Green Bay plays this guy, Quay Walker told you.
Nico, you're never. Hey, let me tell you something.
He's told you how to beat this bum. He's a one-read quarterback. He's a one-read quarterback.
Let's do that because he won't shut up. I'm going to tell you something about this guy.
No, you can't tell me anything, Keith.
Okay. Watch this. Remove. Here's the thing about him.
That's why I stayed quiet.
Here's the thing about guys like that. I'm a very respectful guy. I'm a positive guy. I'm going to keep preaching positivity. But people like that are not good for the Bears fan base.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't stand for. But my comments are, especially in yesterday's video, and it was very simple, it is very two different situations. It is. When you look at Justin Fields situations compared to like what Caleb Williams would be coming into, you would expect Caleb Williams to be good, especially when you're saying he's the number 1 overall pick. People are saying he's the best thing since Andrew Luck, right? Those are hot. People are comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. That's absolutely insane. I would be okay with Caleb Williams, but I do expect a lot in year 1 from him.
Because Caleb will reap the benefits of the tank year that Justin went through, and even last year, getting off some of that money. And
to be fair, I wouldn't say no NFL team has the mindset of tanking, but Justin did what he could.
Yeah, that second year. Yeah,
he did what he could. But not his fault that he basically had no team. I mean, we gave him 3 years, but at the same time, two out of those 3 years were complete, utter trash teams. Like,
I saw a graphic the other day on social media, and I just kind of chuckled because it's like it shows you what the Bears have been through the last couple of years. Literally in year 2, he was throwing to Byron Pringle, Darnell Mooney, and Equanimeous St. Brown. Equanimeous St. Brown is a blocking. He's good for blocking, and then catches here and there. Byron Pringle was nothing but basically a washed up, slot receiver. And then Darnell Mooney, I think he's a high end wide receiver too. I think he proved that he's not a true one, but I think he's a very good. Oh my God!
I think he's a
this
good.
Dude just keeps coming back.
I just think it was. To be honest, it was on the play calling at him and on him on the same time.
Yeah, I definitely think the play calling had a lot to do with it. Like there's one game I'm not going to forget. It was the Tampa Bay game when they ran that back-to-back screen, and who was it? Shaq Barrett, I think it was. They got that pick six.
Oh yeah.
And they interviewed him after the game, and he's like, "Oh, how'd they? About that pick six? How'd you feel about it?" He's like, "They were in the exact same formation. We knew exactly what they were going to do." And I'm like, that just shows you how Getsy had no idea how to scheme people open. And that's the whole point of an offensive coordinator, man. You got to scheme your players open, scheme your weapons open.
Hey,
and I'm sitting.
Oh, shit. Yeah, but remember, Luke Getsy coached Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you're right. So he's probably just used to doing nothing. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I had to say that.
No, you're absolutely right. So he was probably just used to just sitting back and not doing anything. But I just kept noticing as the weeks went on, like there was a lot of games, like the Vikings game. He threw the ball to the sideline multiple times. I'm like, has this guy ever heard of a slant? I'm like, can you not throw like a slant? I'm like, where's those at? I'm like, you got DJ Moore, you got Mooney, have him run across the field. All he was doing was just dumping him off to the sideline. I'm like, this is terrible play calling. This is like what we did in high school. I'm like, this is so bad. So I'm just like, it was the play calling. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, man, Fields, there were times where I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's wide open. Like, what is he doing? Like, just throw the ball. But I think he was so used to just like a lot of pressure and stuff like that, and not having the right personnel around him. And I'm just like, this guy's, I think he's scared crapless right now, because he's just like, I can't afford to mess, because Chicago, we're a pretty hard organization to play for, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love the Bears, but we are very, very critical of who comes here and how they play. So like, and like he held his own, like when the media and stuff like that. That's one thing I gotta say about him, that when the media spoke and like, they said certain things to him, I'm sitting back there, I'm just like, man, if someone said that crap to me, dude, I'd be like, what do you know? I'd be like, you're not on the field. You don't see what I see. I'm like, have you had to deal with what I dealt with? Absolutely not. But he was always cool, calm, and collective. And he's just like, I go out there, I give my best. I got to figure out what I got to figure out. But he was always good about that kind of stuff. But, like I said, there were certain times where I'm like, man, these guys are open, and he's just not throwing the ball. But like I said, he was just so used to running and like pressure. And that's why I say like I want to get him more weapons, but I'm like, we need to beef up that offensive line. Like Nate Davis, I know he had a lot going on last year with his mother, God rest her soul. But it's just, it was crazy to see what I was seeing. Like that first game against the Packers, it was boom, hike the ball right in his face, hike the ball right in his face. Like, man, they can't stop nothing. But when that offensive line started getting healthier, I'm like, okay, now maybe. I think it was like the first time in like week 8 or 9 he had his first starting offensive line, like all 5 of them, and they played pretty decent. But I just, I don't know, man. I'm nervous for Caleb. I want to build around Justin. Like I've never been this torn as a Bears fan in the 25 years that I've been rooting for him. I've been rooting him since I was like.
I have something to say in the chat. People want to cry about the Bears passing up on C.J. Stroud. And I'm also going to do a separate video. CJ Stroud wouldn't do anything on the Bears. I'll be the first one to say that.
I'll back that up. He wouldn't do nothing on the Bears because his line's better than ours. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Nico Collins wasn't all that great before he got there, and then he just went off. But Tank Dell is a beast, man. His route run.
I wanted Tank Dell.
So did I. I wanted Tank Dell so bad because when they were doing the highlights of him in college, I'm like, yo, man, who is this guy running these whip routes, these go routes, these cross routes? He's burning people left and right. I'm like, I would love to have a guy like this. But of course, like the Bears didn't take him. And I'm just like, man, it's just a rough time right now. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just wish it would be over. Like, what are we doing tomorrow? Like, hopefully tomorrow we can get some answers. But like, I'm not really banking on it because I'm just like, man, who knows? He might drag this out like a couple more weeks.
Hey, man, like I said, I'm not I'm just not about the negativity. That's my big thing. Like I just want to see something positive in Chicago. I think all Bears fans truly do. And I will support what Ryan Poles does. And I think he's been outside like the Chase Claypool trade. I think he's been excellent.
Absolutely. I mean, minus Velus Jones too. He hasn't done too much either. But other than
Velus needs to be switched to a running back.
Velus Jones he's just not used correctly, in my opinion.
Just my opinion.
How do you think they should use him? More jet sweeps, you think?
Yeah, more like almost like a Deebo Samuel type of guy. Like jet sweeps in the backfield, you know what I mean? Like because they did use him in the backfield last year.
Yeah, he had some pretty good runs. I saw some 10 yards.
That's how they used him last year. Yeah, so like it is what it is. I like I said, I'm praying for Caleb if he comes in that he's the guy. I hope it works out. I just don't want the Bears to ruin another good talent. That's my big fear.
Same, absolutely, man. Because like when they drafted Fields, I've never been more excited to be a Bears fan when they picked him up, because I remember watching that Ohio State Clemson game and watching him tear apart Trevor Lawrence in that game, and I was just like, man, dude, like this guy's going top 3, top 4. We're never gonna get a guy like this. And when they picked him, I'll never forget where I was at. I was at my buddy's house. We were having, just I think it was a Thursday night or something like that. I didn't have work the next day, so we were drinking, partying a little bit. Man, as soon as we got him, bro, I went off. I was going nuts. I was running around the house. I started screaming out the window, "We're going to a Super Bowl. We're going to a Super Bowl." But it just, it didn't work. And like I said, I don't really blame him. It's just every time, like, even in the back of my head, I was just like, I don't know, man. The Bears picked him. Like, are they going to screw this up? And sure enough, bad coaching. Not giving him first team reps, not building around him, then tearing the team down around him. And I'm like, man, you guys have done everything to make this guy one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Like, not one of the best, but it's just like I said, man, like, at first and foremost, I'm a Bears fan. So whatever Ryan Poles does, I think he's made some good moves. I do trust him. I just, I hope that we get this quarterback right. That's all I pray for. And like, the only thing I'll ever be envious of Green Bay fans is how they rear up their quarterbacks, how they draft them, they let them sit behind guys, they just make sure they're equipped to the game in the future. Like Jordan Love, like I remember we were just talking shit about him. I'm like, oh, he looks like a weasel. He's not going to be able to do anything. And then he throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. I'm like, not again, man. I'm like, please, not again.
Right.
I'm like, man. So.
Right.
So let me ask you this, Keith.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What do you think about like David Kaplan and those media guys saying, it's a no-brainer, especially like I was listening to him, I want to say after the Super Bowl, and his thing was, you see what happens when you get a generation of talent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that's a lot of, I'm like, Pat is 1 in a million.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, I'm sure, everybody will be looking for the next Pat. But what do you think about people putting that stigma on Caleb that he's going to be a generational talent,
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's fair to the kid, honestly. I think Caleb is going to be Caleb Williams, and I think that's what we should look at him as.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does have similarities in like throwing motions and how he's like off script throws, off platform throws.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's unfair to put those expectations of Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl champion in 7 years. Aaron Rodgers, that's I just don't want to put those expectations, because when you put those type of expectations on a young kid that is responsible already being a number 1 overall pick, but coming to a city that's never had a franchise quarterback, you're setting them up for failure.
Right.
And guess what? You and I know, Keith, you did a video being like, just Fields fans are attacking Caleb's character about, him like painting his fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use that against him when he loses. They're going to say, hey, he cares more about modeling than he cares about football.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, I just don't think we should be attacking the players' characters and all that stuff, because, at the end of the day, they are human. And like I said, the city of Chicago is a tough place to play. But if he comes in and wins, they're going to build a statue for that kid.
To be honest with you, Keith, I don't think Caleb has the Bears on his mind at all. I think he wants to go to the Commanders, if I'm being honest.
Maybe that's true, but he made it clear he wants to be the number 1 overall pick, and if that's the Bears, the Bears are going to take him. So
yeah, but if it makes sense to me, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing the interview that he did, Caleb Williams, when he was talking on the interview today, said that when he met up with the Bears, it was only for like 10, 15 minutes. But then when he was in with the Commanders, there was a slew of people in there. There was nowhere to sit. People were standing up. And that when he said that, I'm like, sounds like the Commanders really want this kid. I'm like, so maybe the Commanders will make a move up to pick Caleb Williams. But I'm thinking, look, if you guys move up, you got to give us our 2 back, and I want your future first. Like, people may not think that's a haul, but for moving up 1 spot, I'm like, that's absolutely, or moving down 1 spot, that's absolutely a huge haul. Just to get our 2nd round pick back and your future first, I'd be like, absolutely, go right ahead. And then at 2, I'll hear the Patriots out. I'll be like, hey, how bad do you want Drake May? A lot of other people want Drake May. Yeah, how bad do you want Drake May? And if they want him bad enough, hey, I'll be like, hey, let me get your 2nd and your future first. This way, next year we have 3 firsts, like 4 seconds, and then at 3 we pick up MHJ, which I would absolutely love. But
so many different directions the Bears can go, and that's what I've been trying to say the last couple of weeks on the podcast. That this is exciting. Either direction the Bears go in, I think it's going to be great. I think the Bears will be a winner here pretty soon. I think keeping Matt Eberflus was the right decision, especially the way that he was calling the defense. I think we hopefully got the offensive coordinator position right, but we'll have to wait and see. But fellas, I'm gonna have to go ahead and hop off because I got I got a wife that's attacking me right now over text saying you better get off this live stream. And then I do appreciate you guys supporting me, every single one of you guys. I do appreciate all of you. So
all right, appreciate
it, baby.
Yeah, bear down, guys. Man. Thank you. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for all the support. I really, really do appreciate it. Once again, keep hitting that subscribe button, keep sharing the channel, keep hitting the bell notification because there's going to be a lot of news coming your way in terms of Chicago Bears news. But once again, bear down to every single one of you guys. I'll be back for all new Bears video on Monday. Thank you guys.